Good morning, and welcome to Unity of Orange County. We're so glad you're all here. Whether you're here in person or watching us on the YouTube channel, we're so glad you decided to join us. We always like to begin with our vision and our mission statement. So if you're here together and even at your home, if you repeat our vision statement, which is centered in divine love, we joyfully co-create a world that works for all. And our mission is to awaken, inspire, and transform lives. So we like to always acknowledge the people who make this service possible. So today we have Bill on the piano, and Tom is operating our sound, and John and Waverly are streaming, and Christopher on the camera. And I also like to acknowledge our board members, Diane and Tina and Karen. And our prayer person is Reverend Allison. So we couldn't do it without all these people. So we're so grateful they're here. We have a lot of things going on this week at Unity of Orange County. The best thing, if you can keep up with all these announcements, is to go to our webpage, unityoforangecounty.org, and click on the calendar. Not only are the events on the calendar, but when you click on the event, it will show you some information about it and the Zoom. So we have our gratitude circle happening this Monday from 4 to 5. We have our Aging Backwards happening on Tuesday from 4:30 to 5:30. We have on Wednesday our Divine Audacity class. On Thursday, it's a Never Too Late. I'm not going to just repeat all these Zoom numbers because there's so many. It's like be spinning around. And then next Sunday, we're having a town hall meeting. So that's going to be live for those people who are here. And if you're not here personally, you can watch us on your Zoom. And we'll have a Zoom number for that. And I also want to remind you, if the stress is getting to you and COVID is getting to you and life is getting to you, we have a prayer line. And all you need to do is email uocpray@gmail.com, and your name will be given to one of our prayer chaplains, and they will contact you and pray with you one-on-one. Please feel free to use this because it's so important when things get overwhelming for us that we have someone that we can pray with. There's a lot of power in having someone pray for you. Also, if you want to see what else is coming up, go on our website. And remember, if you're buying on Amazon, because you still don't want to go to the stores, instead of Amazon, click on smileamazon.com and put as your charity Unity of Orange County. And remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, to hit the like button and to subscribe to our channel. So we are just so grateful. You also have the ability to donate via text, and we know that we appreciate all your gifts. And now I would like to introduce for our prayer and meditation, Reverend Allison.
The daily word for today, Sunday, October 4th, 2020, fearless. In the past, I may have hidden my inner light, afraid to be myself. I may have tried to please others by conforming to someone else's idea of who I should be. I may have shrunk from aspiration, fearing that I would fail in my pursuit of the goal. I may have doubted the divine perfection at the core of my spiritual being, identifying with perceived flaws and feeling small and inadequate. Today, I make a choice. I choose to live fearlessly, drawing upon my faith to believe in myself, my imagination to envision my best life, and my understanding to know my divinity. Bold and brave, I am fearless as I live my life authentically, pursue my dreams, and express my divine nature. And the scripture this morning is from Deuteronomy 31, chapter 6. Be strong and bold. Have no fear or dread, because it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not fail you or forsake you. And now I just invite you to take a moment and prepare for our meditation. And let's just begin by settling our body and getting in a comfortable space, preferably with your feet on the floor, so you're grounded in that earth beneath you. If you so choose, you may close your eyes or you may keep them softly focused. And now allow your spine to lift and your shoulders to soften. And this morning, I'm going to give you an opportunity for yourself and for others to wish them well and healing. And what this does for us is it helps us improve our sense of connection to others. And it will bring happiness for ourselves and for those whom we pray for. So just keep continuing in your loving inhale and exhale. Now take a full breath in. Hold it, and then a full breath out. Now take a moment and bring to mind someone that you care about. Now imagine them well and happy. And say to yourself, may they be well. May they be happy. And in the next few seconds, just also think about whatever wishes you have and bring those to mind for them. Now bring to mind someone else that you care about. And imagine them well and happy. And then say to yourself, may they be well. May they be happy. And then just take a few seconds and envision whatever else you would like to see for that person. And now with that same sense of wonder that you felt for the other people, invite a sense of well-being for yourself. And now say to yourself, may I be well. May I be happy. And now just spend some time thinking of the other ways that you would like to wish yourself good things. What you would like to see for yourself. What you would like to offer in kindness and generosity. Now, staying with your breath, allow these offerings of kindness and goodwill to just gently sink in, to feel them radiating through your body. And notice how that feels for you. Notice how your body responds to the kindness. Now take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. And as you remain in the silence, I offer you this opportunity that when you see the next person you interact with today, take a moment and say in your mind, I wish you to be happy as you greet them. And repeat this as many times as you remember to do so today. Namaste.
Thank you, Bill. That was beautiful. So today is actually one of my favorite days. We're doing a series on the wisdom of the world religions. And today we're talking about Christianity, but we're not going to talk about Jesus and the normal stuff we would talk about. We're going to talk about someone who I love, which is St. Francis, which is perfect for today because the daily word for today was about fearlessness. And St. Francis epitomizes fearlessness of spirit because he wasn't, he's so well known in and outside the Catholic Church. Everybody has heard about St. Francis. But he was brought up in a world where his father was very wealthy. He was very spoiled. He and his friends really had no cares in the world. He had everything he wanted. His father intended him to go into business with him and be a wealthy merchant, just like his father was. And there was no reason to believe that he wouldn't. And St. Francis and his friends go off to war. It was this, they had these wars back then. They were like one province with another. It wasn't even with another country. And anyway, he wasn't a warrior, and he got captured. And he spent some time in prison, and he was in prison for a while, and they were ransoming him with his father because they knew his father had a lot of money. And after years in prison, he finally gets released. And he's never the same. One, he's been in a war. Two, he's been in prison, and he was very ill as a result of it. And so when he comes out of this illness, something about him has changed. And people thought he was crazy. You know, the thing about being fearless spiritually is that when we change and we really truly become into our own, our spiritual being as opposed to our worldly being, people often think you're crazy. I mean, we all know people like that. Well, why are you doing that? Or why are you giving that up? Or what are you doing right now? And you're going where? You're praying? You're going to a meditation retreat? What are you, nuts? You know, I mean, because it's so against maybe how we were brought up. So people thought he was crazy because instead of selling his father's goods, he was giving them away. He was throwing them away. Instead of being a merchant, he was going out and communing with the birds and the animals and spending time in nature and looking at the wind and the sun, and just his whole life had changed. And to the world he was in, he was really nuts. I mean, today you would definitely say this man needs to be institutionalized. And his father didn't know what to do with him. He just could not get him to be the person that he was. And so, but he's very religious. He's part of the Catholic Church, and he was very religious. But there was something wrong with the Catholic Church. He loved Jesus. He loved what Jesus taught, but he couldn't stand. Back then, the Catholic Church was filled with money, had a lot of money. The priests had money. The Pope had money. It was a lot of riches and fancy stuff. And St. Francis didn't believe that's what Jesus wanted because he looked at the life of Jesus and he found somebody simple and somebody who didn't have anything. And so he kind of began to think that this isn't the way we're supposed to be. We're not supposed to be the way the church is telling us to be. We're supposed to be free and poor and look at the animals. And so he starts his own little group of band of men, and he builds this little, takes an old beat up church and builds it up. And what he's most famous for, beside the fact for animals, he's actually the saint of the environment and animals, because he was so into the natural world. And then we have the prayer of St. Francis, which is really famous. But he didn't write the prayer of St. Francis. The prayer of St. Francis was written about 100 years ago by a French person who's anonymous. And it was written because it epitomized what St. Francis stood for. So what St. Francis wrote, many of you may have seen the movie Brother, Sun, Sister, Moon, which is about St. Francis. Well, St. Francis wrote the Canticle of Brother, Sun, and Sister, Moon. And this we know that he wrote. And this is all kind of where he was in his mind back then. So it's most high, all powerful, all good Lord. All praise is yours, all glory, all honor, and all blessings. To you alone, Most High, do they belong, and no mortal lips are worthy to pronounce your name. Praise be you, my Lord, with all your creatures, especially Sir Brother Sun, who is the day through whom you give us light. And he is beautiful and radiant with great splendor. O, of you most high, he bears the likeness. Praise be you, my Lord, through Sister Moon and the stars. In the heavens you have made them bright, precious, and fair. Praise be you, my Lord, through brothers wind and air. and fair and stormy, all weather's moods, by which you cherish all that you have made. Praise be you, my Lord, through Sister Water, so useful, so humble, precious and pure. Praise be you, my Lord, through Brother Fire, through whom you light the night, and he is beautiful and playful and robust and strong. Praise be you, my Lord, through our sister, Mother Earth, who sustains and governs us, produces varied fruits with colored flowers and herbs. So at this point of the prayer, he's showing that all of this creation gives its life to God, to the Lord. Everything that is created by God and fulfills its purpose with God, giving light, giving the water, nurturing, and all of that. He doesn't even mention people until he gets to, praise be you, my Lord, through those who grant pardon for love of you and bear sickness and trial. Blessed are those who endure in peace. By you most high they will be crowned. Praise you, my Lord, through Sister Death, from whom no one living can escape. Woe to those who die in mortal sin. Blessed are they she finds doing your will. No second death can do them harm. Praise and bless my Lord, and give him thanks, and serve him with great humility. So what this is all about is he's saying that we as human beings, just like the sun and the moon and the stars and the water and the fire, have to do what we were created to do. Now, we may think we were created to go out and earn a living. We may think we were created to go out and do the stuff that the world tells us to do. But what St. Francis was saying is that we were created to be instruments of God, to be God's light in this world, and to be symbols of love and reconciliation. And that was his big thing, love and reconciliation. The order he formed was about obedience, poverty, and chastity. But what he was really about was love and reconciliation. In his own life, during the wars with the Moors, the Crusades, he actually left the country and went to the land of Islam. And rather than trying to convert people and change their way or create peace, he just lived with them and got to know them and appreciated their beliefs and what they did. See, he wasn't about going out and changing everybody else. That's not what God has created us to be. God hasn't created us to go out and change the whole world so they think like us and act like us and they are like us. God created us to be us and to allow people to be people. And St. Francis epitomized this. This is what he was all about. And so he started his little brotherhood. And at first, the Catholic Church was really against him because he seemed like he was against a lot of what the Catholic Church represented. And so he goes to the Pope because the local church there want to kick him out and they try and burn his church. And he goes to the Pope, and somewhere that Pope had enough spiritual insight that he saw in St. Francis that this truly was someone who was touched by God, that this is someone who truly epitomized what Jesus taught. And he gave St. Francis his blessing, which enabled St. Francis to create what is now the Franciscan order. And there's thousands of them all over the world. So the prayer that we all know is the St. Francis prayer, it also shows a lot about him. And the reason why I picked this for the world, wisdom of the world, is because in our world today, we really need a St. Francis prayer. I mean, we need it now more than any time. So it says, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. And where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. So what he's saying is that we need to be God's instrument of peace. And instead of thinking about what we need to be thinking about what we can give. So for me right now, this line about where there is injury, pardon. So I have a friend of mine who just lost his job. The company did a big cut. 200 jobs were lost. And this person spent years working for this company and really working hard to get up to a management position. And they let 200 managers go, which is a lot. And he walks into work one day and he's basically said, we're laying off 200 people. You're one of them. Goodbye. And his whole world is shattered. And, you know, I felt so bad. And I mean, this happened like 3 days ago. And every once in a while I find myself crying because I know how much this means to him. And I began feeling a resentment to this company for doing this because I thought, how dare they do that? You know, just go in and say to people who have worked hard to get up to a level everybody is working to get up to, goodbye, like so long, see ya. Today's your last day. And so I've had to work on this forgiveness. I've had to work on this pardon. I've had to work on, it didn't even happen to me, but I could feel it. You know, because we were friends, I could feel that pain. Has that ever happened to you? You know, someone you care about gets injured or someone does something to you, and it's almost like it's been done to you. It's like a voodoo doll, you know, and someone sticks the needle here and over there the person feels pain. And it makes no sense at all. But that's because we're all connected with energy. We're all connected by energy. We're all connected. So very often when something happens here, we do feel it. So I've had to work on this a lot. And it's so interesting that today is St. Francis. It is October 4th. And in the Catholic calendar and in a lot of Episcopalian and all this is the feast of St. Francis. So it's a wonderful holiday because St. Francis represents gentleness and love and pardon and harmony. But he also represents this understanding that all creation is the same. And so on St. Francis's Day, we do a blessing of the animals. So we don't have a lot of animals here today because, you know, it's the world of COVID, but we do have all of our animals. You may not be able to see them. Can we show them? All the animals from our children's room. And a lot of people have brought pictures of their animals. And if you're at home, go get your animal. Put it on your lap, your cat, your dog, whatever, because we're going to do a blessing of the animals. It's not a St. Francis Day without a blessing of the animals. So normally we bring the animals up and we do all kinds of things. But, you know, like everything else in our world today, we have to do what we have to do. But I want you all to take this time, and if you don't have a picture of your animal, to hold that animal in your heart and your mind as I invite Shanice up to do the blessing of the animals. So if you're at home, go get your animals or get a picture off the wall. Or if you're here and you don't have a picture, just hold the thought of that animal in your heart and your mind. And I'm going to have Shanice come up, who's our youth and family chaplain.
Good morning. I am so grateful to share in this day. Thank you, Reverend Arlene, for inviting me to be fearless on this day, celebrating two of my favorite things. One of them is God's greatest gift to us, I think, one of them, which is our animal companions. I don't know if you're like me, but they make me a better human being. And today we're going to get a chance to honor them and to show them our love. as God has entrusted them to our care, just like we're entrusted to the one's care. Love, God, Creator, whatever you feel comfortable with. And so something special I think about this day is that aspect of Francis is so in love with God in all forms, just like our animal companions are so in love with us. And that just really, really resonates with me. And so I'm just so blessed that we get to put on Francis's eyes and we get to look at all of God's creation with that lens of love. Just like in unity, we know the second principle is that there's the divine spark in everyone, in everything, everywhere. And that's even in all of our animal companions and friends, whether they be our pets, whether they be wild, whether they already be with the Creator. There's a spark of the divine in all, and they reveal God's love to us, and they remind us how to love one another. So, if you're at home and you have your animal companions close, I invite you to draw them close by just having a calm heart and joy for them. And if you don't have your animal companion close and you're here with us, I just invite everyone just to close your eyes for a moment. I want you to bring up the picture of your beloved pets, all of the animal companions who have blessed your life. Bring them up in your heart, mind. And if they're no longer here, just know that they've already drawn closer to the Creator, and they'll be there waiting for you, just like the ones that wait for us at home. And so we just ask the blessed Creator, by the power of your love, we ask that you bless our special animal companions. Give them long and healthy lives. Give them good relationships with us, and fill any suffering animals with healing light and strength to overcome any weaknesses that they have. Watch over these animals and watch over us so that we may love them like you love us. We thank you for our wonderful gift of animal companionship, and we celebrate their friendship. We bless them. We praise you for your beauty in all your creation. We bless them, and blessed are you shining through all we see. And so it is. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you, Shanice. That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Yes. All right. So here at Unity, we always like to review our 5 principles because it just reminds us what Unity believes and reminds us why we are here. So if you could all join together. Principle 1, God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. And 2, I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and in everyone. And 3, I create my experiences by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. And 4, through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. And 5, I do and give my best by living the truth that I know. I make a difference. So one way we make a difference is through the law of giving and receiving. And we have many ways that we can give to this church, and we appreciate all of your gifts. One way is through texting 77977, and in the message, you just put Unity of OC Give. Another is off of our website. Go to the donate button and you can give that way. If you have our app, you can give on our app. And you can also mail in a check, or if you any money order or whatever, or you can give if you're here. So we appreciate the gifts because it makes it possible for us to be here. You know, sometimes these are difficult times for a lot of people. And so we're grateful for any help that we get. So if you are here or if you're at home and you have your offering, I invite you to put it in your hands right now as we say our prayer blessing over it. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so we're just so grateful that you're here. If you are here, you can give your gifts. There's a box as you walk out the exit, and we appreciate that. Next Sunday, we're going to do Buddhism. And one of the reasons we're going to look at Buddhism is it's another thing we really need to look at, some of their beliefs, especially in our world today. And so join us as we continue to travel around the world, doing the different world religions. Check our website for all the activities that we have going on this week. And let us close with our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. God bless. Have a safe week. Have a wonderful week, and see you next week. God bless.